We're back with another episode of A Conversation About COVID with our panel, YPG Commander Colonel Patrick McFall, Command Sergeant Major Jamathon Nelson, Technical Director Larry Bracamonte, Deputy Garrison Manager Ron James, and Health Clinic OIC Major Jennifer Fiandt. Colonel McFall, do you have any opening remarks?
Mark, thank you. Yes, I do. To our YPG family, I understand that the heat's out there, COVID's out here. We have a lot of people in our house right now. It is very important nowadays we continue to apply the standards and set the standards and follow the CDC guidelines. Everyone is looking to us on what standard we should follow. And only you can set that standard, which I know you do each and every day. And I want to say thank you. It is with great importance that we continue to do this. Remember, this is our house. The standards we set are what everybody will follow. Next note, Labor Day weekend is coming upon us, and it will be here sooner than we can think. We must stay vigilant during those times, must continue to apply the CDC guidelines. It is even more important that we continue to do that so we are protecting the health of our workforce, our family, our YPG family, and our community. We set the standard, and I see it every day when I'm out there. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. And last but not least, I know these are challenging times. I know this is hard. I'm there with you. Right now we have children who are working online. We have parents who are working from home. We have people trying to figure this out right now. But I know this much. What I've seen, how you're performing to date, we will get through this because our YPG family is strong. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Colonel McFall, what are the current YPG policies concerning travel? Can folks travel out of state or go to Mexico? Can you walk us through that?
So, YPG workforce, we don't have any restrictions. We follow the restrictions of what's published by the State Department or the United States or other countries. I always recommend if you wish to go to Mexico that you follow what the State Department has published or what the Mexico government has published. But to me, always social distance yourself, always wear your PPE, use hand sanitizer, follow CDC guidelines. We must protect ourselves. It is important not only to ourselves, but to our YPG family.
Mr. Bracamonte, YPG's policies regarding PPE have kept the YPG workforce safe during COVID. As flu season is upon us, how are we going to differentiate between COVID cases and influenza cases?
Well, Mark, currently there is no expeditious way to differentiate between COVID-19 and influenza cases since many of the symptoms are pretty much the same. You would have to be tested and then basically go to a medical professional who would then render a diagnosis of what you have. I will tell you that on the bright side, we continue to wear face masks, we continue to social distance, and we continue to wash our hands pretty frequently. And that in itself will help against also the influenza virus. As far as to take it even a step further, I would recommend that you talk to your doctor about the possibility of you getting an influenza vaccine, because I think it will protect you to some degree from the influenza virus, especially during our winter months that are upcoming.
Mr. James, autumn's just around the corner. Can you walk us through what post-life is going to look like in the months ahead? Are the children going to be able to go trick-or-treating house to house, for instance?
I sure hope so. So, we usually have a fall festival, which is a big event for the community. Trick-or-treat, another big event for the community in the fall. Today, I couldn't sit here and say, yes, we will do this, or no, we won't. But we're going to keep watching the guidance, we're going to keep watching the numbers, and we're going to try to do this in a way to keep it safe. I love seeing the little kids out trick-or-treating, and I hope we can do that. But we are heading down that road. So this past week, we opened the library, and I'll give you the hours in case anybody missed those. Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 1800, and Saturday, 10 to 1400. That's the library. The Auto Skills Center is now open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 1800. So if you want to work on your auto, you can now do that during those hours. And then another thing I wanted to point out was the fitness center. So we've opened that up to people in the YPG workforce who have a physical fitness requirement as part of their job. Normally that's, of course, soldiers, but our police and fire also have a physical fitness requirement to take a physical fitness test as part of their job. And so that's who it's open to. Our sign is a little misleading because it says active duty military and first responders, which is true. However, it's not all first responders because you have to have that physical fitness test requirement. And so as we get into the fall, I hope our numbers keep going down. I hope we can find safe ways to have those activities that we've had in the past, and we'll certainly try to do that.
Sergeant Major Nelson, a lot of members of the YPG workforce have school-aged children, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now about in-person instruction at the schools, when it's going to start, so on. Is there anything leadership can do to help alleviate the additional stress these folks are under?
So Mark, you say anything leadership can do. I think leadership has been doing about all we can do. We've authorized maximum telework. We've asked the employees to talk to their supervisors if they have school-aged children. Apart from that, we're looking at hopefully schools opening back up soon. I know they were just delayed last week, and looking at possibly opening up on the 8th. So maybe a little pressure relief there, but other than that, we can just keep pushing ahead with the telework, Mark.
Major Fiandt, do you feel it's medically necessary for all individuals to be tested for COVID-19?
No, I don't think it's necessary for everyone to be tested for COVID-19. Certainly, if people are feeling ill or having symptoms, then that would be a good reason to be tested for COVID-19, or if you've had positive exposure to a confirmed case.
Major Fiandt, we don't have a COVID vaccine yet, but there is a vaccine for certain strains of influenza. Mm-hmm. Do you feel it's important for folks to get a flu vaccine? Absolutely essential. I think it's very, very important that people get their annual flu shot. The flu in itself is a danger to people. It's a very harmful virus. It's in circulation and every single year. There are different strains of the flu. And of course, the flu vaccine, is only effective against several of those strains. But the good news is, even the strains that are not included in the flu vaccine, it does provide you protection against other strains of the flu out there as well. So even if you are unlucky enough to happen to catch a strain of the flu that isn't covered by the flu vaccine, you will still likely have an easier course of the illness if you do have that flu vaccine. Colonel McFall, we've focused a lot on COVID-19 safety, but there's a lot of inherent dangers to testing and working at Yuma Proving Ground in the summertime. Is that something we can talk about as a panel for a few minutes?
So there are other things we need to talk about. COVID-19, don't get me wrong, is extremely important and we must address it. But we cannot forget about the other aspects. So at this point, I think it's important to hear specifically from the team members in their lanes. Would y'all mind filling in? And maybe we start with Major Fiandt, please?
So we are experiencing some of the worst of the summer's heat right now. Everyone, both YPG locals and visitors, needs to take steps to protect themselves. We have seen an increase in heat casualties coming through the clinic. For most people, water is fine to stay hydrated, but if you're going to be exercising outside or in the heat for a longer period of time, you should probably add something with a little electrolytes and some salt like Gatorade. If you're starting to feel bad, nauseous, have headaches, aren't sweating or having stomach cramps, it is time to get out of the heat, get somewhere cool, and focus on getting hydrated. For those of us who are out here in the heat, you need to keep an eye on the folks who are out here with us. Look to our left and our right, and if people are not doing well, you need to get that person out of the heat, get them hydrated, get them cool, and get them help as they need it.
Another thing I think we need to talk about is something we talked about in the very beginning, something I know that I mentioned, and that's complacency. As we move forward and we continue to go through the COVID and we're answering the same questions every single day, we're doing the same thing, we're wearing our masks, that the way we start this is the way we finish it, and that's how we get through this. We started out answering the questions, wearing our mask when we're less than 6 feet and we can't social distance. We wear our mask when we carpool. all the way to and from home. So let's not get complacent. It's easy to do. One with COVID and the other with the heat. Keep an eye, look to your left and right, like Major Fiandt said. And if you notice a problem, say something to somebody or pull that person indoors.
So what I'd like to add is mission safety. You got to remember that it is important that all of you follow the written SOPs that are out there. They're designed to keep you safe. Also, you must remember that the systems that we test out here are designed to kill and maim people. So if you're not careful with their operation, you could become a casualty. So we definitely don't want that. And remember, safety never takes a day off. We must remain vigilant at all times and never become complacent, like the Sergeant Major says.
Every summer here at YPG, we have an increase in ambulance calls going out to the community. So it's the normal things you would think of in summer in Yuma. So hydration, vehicle accidents out on 95, boating accidents over at the lake or the river. And then COVID just adds an extra twist to that because now you're responding to people you don't know if they're infected or not, so we take extra precautions. And one of the things I always hammer home to our firefighters and our EMTs is that they got to have their PPE, because we did have an instance where we responded, the person ended up being COVID positive, but that COVID positive patient had a bandana on and nobody else got COVID-19. So the masks, in my opinion, work, and we're making sure our people have their PPE on, but the key is being safe in those events. We don't want to go to those calls, and so we just ask everybody to stay safe this summer.
Colonel McFall, as you mentioned, the COVID numbers in Yuma County have declined dramatically over the last few weeks. What is YPG going to do to remain vigilant about the COVID-19 threat?
Mark, it's going in the right direction because we're doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing. You must continue to do this. Success of this is on each of us. Each of us are accountable to each other and to ourselves. Whether you're a garrison, mission, soldier, civilian, contractor, I don't differentiate. Everybody is YPG family. And when it comes to health, safety, COVID-19, it is important for everybody to be taking care of our YPG family. I'm asking everybody to take that on. Every YPG member is important. You heard it from the experts sitting at this table. They have the real numbers, and they're communicating those. That's how serious this is. As far as going forward, what are we going to do? We're going to continue doing the same thing we're doing now. Always remember, this is our house. People will look to us on what the standard is, and you are setting it, and we need to continue to set it. I am proud of all of you. We cannot do this mission without you, and I want to say thank you. Truth in Testing. Have a good day.